Thank you for joining us on Running the Table. I'm Rob Giampapa. I'm thrilled today to be joined by 6 of the female directors of student activities in the area. Ladies, how are you doing today?
Good, thank you.
Terrific. Let's start with the introductions here.
Hi, I'm Nancy Melnick, and I'm the DSA here at Fairfax High School.
Hi, my name's Terry Toll. I'm the Director of Student Activities at Westfield High School.
Hi, I'm Lori Barb. I'm the Director of Student Activities at Lee High School.
Hi, I'm Leah Conti. I'm the Director of Student Activities at South County High School.
I'm Megan Foley. I'm the DSA at Madison High School.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Kelly, the DSA at Falls Church High School.
All right, so let me ask you this first. How long have you all known each other? Did you know each other before you became DSAs, or did you meet after the fact?
I knew Terry. We coached against each other when I first came to Fairfax County, and I coached Megan when she was an athlete at Mary Washington.
Okay.
So the others I met when I came to Fairfax County.
Right.
I've known Lori for years through tennis. I remember we were both tennis coaches, and then I was running tournaments, and she was the tennis coach at Lee when I was at Marshall. I've known Nancy for many years through basketball. Our brothers are friends, so that connection for a long time. And then Terry, Leah, and Megan, I think I've met through this job.
Yeah. Nancy and I coached against each other in basketball, so we've known each other for a long time. And then as everybody kind of came into the DSA world, we all got to know each other.
And were you all coaches before you got into the administrative side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yes.
Okay. What is it about athletics? What is it that keeps you in athletics?
I'll start. I think that, for me, it's just been something that's been a part of my life from the very beginning. It's been part of our family's culture. It's been something that we've been able to do all through high school and even on into college, and it's just been much of what we do. I feel like there's been a part of us that have all wanted to be in education, and I think we all have a strong educational background. So it's sports and education and becoming part of a high school and being an educator, it all ties it all together. It allows you to do everything you love. Educating young men and women and being a part of athletics is really everything that we enjoy doing.
I would tell you, for me too, I had been teaching and coaching for such a long time, and I was so blessed that I had so many great DSAs that I worked for. Jack Kirby, that's at Broad Run, Charlie Oslin, that was at Madison, Pat Lang, Tim Gordon. And for me, I knew it was time that I wanted to now kind of do something a little different, but stay in the athletic world, and just seemed to be the right fit and progression, It just seemed to make sense to me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think for me too, I'm where I am today because of sports, and it taught me all the character and values that I needed to be successful. And like Nancy, I coached for a long time, and this was an opportunity for me to take a step and be able to impact more kids, not just the kids I coach, but kids within a whole program. So it was an opportunity for me to kind of give back to more than just a team, to an entire high school, and work together with a lot of really good people to build a solid program.
All right. What is the most fun part of your day when you get into work?
I would say, without a doubt, I mean, we all work very long hours. I think when you're actually at the events, seeing the kids, seeing the coaches perform, being a part of the school and the community and knowing that you played a part in that, when everything goes smoothly, I mean, you can think with all the craziness in our jobs, when there's an actual event out there and you know that the officials showed up, the buses showed up, the kids are having a great time, the coaches are working hard, when it all comes together, you can be like, this is all worth it. Yeah.
I would say too, like, our jobs are never boring. It's never the same. There's always something that keeps us on our toes. So we always have to be thinking ahead and kind of ready for that next step. But the other piece of it, to kind of what Jeannie said, is, for me to see the students and see them passionate about something, and even whether it's success or failure, it's fun to watch them kind of grow and change through that progression. And our coaches as well. You'll see people that are assistant coaches that move into head coach roles. So you get the opportunity to see that growth, which is really cool.
But opposed to coaching, how difficult are the losses now as opposed to when you were a coach? Because obviously you have a lot more programs that you're in control of. How difficult are the losses?
I think it's just as difficult as when I ran the program. It's almost harder because you don't have control over the kids when they're out there, and you're like, oh, I wish they would do this.
Right.
But when you're coaching, you have that direct contact with the kids on the field. So I think it's just as hard.
Right, to see
when
them
you
work
lose.
so hard. Yeah, I kind of actually live through the kids a little bit now that I'm not coaching, and I don't, like, I'm so hoping we can get a win or they can experience that because it's awesome, and it's really hard when they lose.
In my experience, I can get over a loss faster as a DSA than I could as a coach. Like there's some losses I had as a coach that, you know, I still don't think I'm over. But as a DSA, there's always the next game, there's the next season, there's a next big event. So,
Right.
but at the same time, I don't feel like I don't think I'm getting the reward of the win like I did when I was a coach. That's because I'm not as connected as I was as a coach. But there's been a couple losses in my tenure as a DSA that have been pretty hard to take.
Yeah. Well,
Not as hard as coach.
well, in your path to get to where you are today, were there obstacles that a man might not have that you all have through your journey there?
Not for me. I have had people, like I said earlier, that have just looked out for me. No. I would say no. Just me.
I feel like I don't know if it would make a difference if I was a man or a woman. I want to prove myself. I want to prove myself capable of doing the job, period. So I don't feel like I've had any more or less obstacles, but it's just me battling my own myself really to make sure that I'm kind of not viewed differently. I think it's I think mine is a battle within my own wanting to be perfect sometimes, and it can't happen.
I haven't felt the obstacles. I don't think. You know, I feel like I've always been treated fairly and hopefully respected. I do find, though, there are times where there's an assumption when I'm meeting with somebody that they'll say, well, I need to talk to the AD. I'm like, well, I am the AD. You know, there's kind of an assumption that a female wouldn't be in our roles. So I've had that before, and it doesn't bother. It makes me laugh. I mean, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's me. So there are times where I feel like there's this stereotype out there that the activities director, athletic director, DSA, whatever the title is going to be a man.
I think, and I'm speaking for all of us, I think our male counterparts respect all of us. I think we've all had successful careers, whether it was coaching or being a DSA, and I think that helps, that they've embraced us, and they, you know, we're one team, basically, as DSAs, so.
Well, just to piggyback off of that, the female sports have come a long way in the last 20 years. How happy are you to see that, and how satisfying is that in your role to see as female sports continue to grow and grow? Don't everybody talk at once?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of experienced it like adding sports in high school, and then as I got into teaching high school and coaching in high school, seeing the games get better and things change and add more sports. So it's been awesome. I mean, kids now don't even know what it would be like not to have, you know, volleyball or softball or lacrosse or field hockey. So yeah, I think it's been awesome to watch that grow and Fairfax County be willing to add sports if the interest is there to make things work for our kids, because it really all centers around what's best for kids.
I think there are a lot more opportunities off season too. I feel like there are a lot of leagues that run all year round that gives kids an opportunity to play basketball all year round, or field hockey or lacrosse or whatever. And I'm not sure that was an option 20 years ago. So that's very exciting. It's great.
We often talk, and we were just talking before this segment, that there's part of it that concerns me, that they have so many options. They don't know any different. They have so many options, and some of us are struggling to form like freshman teams. Like, we should be easily able to form freshman basketball, JV softball, freshman cheer, and where, are they pigeonholing themselves into one sport, or are they specializing, or why aren't more kids out because they do have these opportunities, and do they realize how special that opportunity is?
That's interesting you say that, because I've talked to a couple of coaches recently who say multi-sport athletes make the best.
Oh yeah,
pick the
absolutely,
sport.
absolutely.
So how important it is for you to try to get people to play multiple sports rather than just stick to one?
I think it's a big challenge for athletics nationwide right now, because you find so many kids or so many student athletes specializing at a younger age, even in youth sports. And there's so many statistics out there, that kids are choosing one sport at a young age when high school is their chance to do so many different things. And it really, for a school, they're going to learn, all the lessons that we learn through athletics, through every different coach, every different team. They all have different dynamics, and they're going to get something new out of that. So I think that makes them a better student athlete, and I think it better prepares them for life after high school. So I think it's a constant struggle. But I know we're all advocates of the multi-sport athlete.
As we go into the Olympics, you guys know the Olympics are going on, Leah?
Yeah, I
Okay,
got
for
it.
that.
Today, starts today.
6 o'clock, women's girls soccer.
6 o'clock,
It was
women's
really,
soccer.
really great last year with that World Cup team. Our girls winning. They were all those articles talked about. I was multiple sports, and all the cross training helped me physically, mentally, everything. Those were the best articles to read, and I was pushing those on people.
Yeah, we did too. We sent them out, I sent them out in kits. I tweeted stuff to connect kids to be able to see that the more different things they do, the stronger they become as an athlete.
And I think that's something we have to really not push. I'm not sure that's the right word, but emphasize with our own coaches, because I think they'll tell you that they believe that, but at the same time they want their kids working all year round on their sport.
Yeah.
So I've had those conversations with coaches saying, hey, it's great if you show up to watch your kids play another sport. That's sending another level of that you really are supporting them in their efforts to play another sport. Those types of conversations.
How has, Jeannie, you're the longest tenured DSA here?
I think you might be the oldest.
I said longest tenured.
I think it's Jeannie.
How much has it helped you all to have her there to help you along the way?
I would just say across the board, anybody, and not just these guys, anybody in Fairfax County, I could pick up the phone, call, questions asked. It's great. There are times when you go to people that, hey, do you remember that back in,
Gives you a little knowledge of the history of how we got to certain decisions was because A, B, and C happened that Jeannie might be aware of, which some of us might not be. And this is how we got to this point. This is why we have this regulation, whatever the case may be. There's history to all of that, which we might not necessarily know.
Jeannie, who's the hardest person in the group to work with? Be honest
Be
about it.
careful, Jeannie.
Everybody looks
down
at
My vote's on her. That's her.
Jeannie and I played tennis together. We played tennis together.
Well, then I already know her.
Yeah. I can't live up to Nancy's expectations. She's so competitive. She needs to slow down, take a break.
Stop kidding me.
Well, who is the most important person in your career to get to where you are?
I don't I don't know that I have one person. I think all of my coaches, my teachers, my parents, my entire family, my brother, I think all of us could probably say that they've molded us into who we are and kind of helped us down this path. So
a lot of people, I would say.
I can't pick one.
Yeah, it couldn't just be one person. I think it's a lot of people, my grandparents, my parents, and instilling that drive to be the best and bring your A game to everything. And I think we're all really competitive. We laugh about Nancy, but I think we're all really competitive, and we want the best program. We want to win every opportunity we get, and I think that comes from our background.
I think we all have somebody within our own schools or even within our school system that has kind of given us the confidence that we could do this. For me, it was Francis Dahl. That's who it was for me. That as I started working at Westfield and I started working in the activities office, like in a very subtle way, he would give me more and more tasks to do, jobs to do, and challenges, and all during that time, he was preparing me to do the job. And while I have all the family support, which is absolutely necessary from your husband, your whoever, that your family, my mom, my dad, like Lori said, I mean, they've got to support you, but there's got to be one professional or like multiple professionals that give you the confidence to do the job. Because mom and dad are going to think you're pretty great no matter what.
And I think most of us probably thought we would coach our sport until we retired. And along the way, I think, like for me, Dr. Lip said to me, hey, why don't you take some admin classes? You might be good at this someday. And I think had she not said that to me, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. So, and I think we probably could all say the same thing.
I could probably agree with that. I had a long conversation with Fred Amico, who's the principal at Langley. And just one night doing game duty. And we talked about getting my administrative degree. And I started thinking about it the next day. And then that's what I did. And then here I am. So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
When I was an assistant DSA, I worked at Marshall for years, and Bruce Patrick was the head of Fairfax County activities. He was very influential to me, giving me projects and encouraging me to go to the next level. Very much so. So I would definitely put him up there, someone who supported me personally.
Obviously, you're not just athletics, you're directors of student activities. What's the most important part of your job?
Being able to balance. I mean, I think we all wear a lot of hats in our building, and you got
different.
and there's like 10 different things coming at you at a time, and you got to be able to balance everything and keep everybody happy. And
yeah, I think that's the big thing. Our jobs are all different. We all have different responsibilities in our building, and
even though we all have the same title, it differs from school to school what your principal might give you as a responsibility. So I oversee our custodial staff while somebody else might be in charge of performing arts or somebody else might be in charge of PE. It all varies. It all varies. I think it's balance, and I think you have to be able to prioritize what needs to happen each day.
And I think in the back of our minds, the kids are the number one priority. So whatever decision we're making, that's we're making what's best for kids.
Is that also the most difficult part, the balance?
I would say for me, the most difficult part is taking time for myself, because it's like a 24/7 on job. And I mean, I don't know if you guys agree, but that's the biggest thing, like having my time to work out or take time to eat right? Just taking some time in the mornings when I get to work to just have some quiet mental time in my office without, because it's just a constant thing all day long with the phone and people stopping by and emails. And
you might not get to your office. It starts as soon as you walk out of your car door. It starts as soon as you wake up and you've got emails to read and you're reading them, eating breakfast, and you walk out in your car door, you park your car, and here's somebody, I need this, and this is, okay, well, can I put my lunch bag down? Everybody needs to just kind of give us, everybody, space to come in and get the day started.
There are times that you think you just need to get one thing done during the day. And sometimes it might be a personal thing. Like, I've got to call and get that doctor's appointment.
Right.
Yeah.
And you think that's the only thing you have to do. And you work a 12, 13, 14-hour day. And at the end of the day, you realize, I didn't even think about that, because as soon as I walked in, you were hit with one thing after another. And that's
do you guys use sticky notes? Because
Yes.
sticky notes everywhere so I don't forget things, because that's exactly what happens.
Terry loves sticky
The
notes.
real important ones go right on the computer monitor. Those are the really important ones.
But I think people also don't realize is, like, we're kind of the jack of all trades. Like anything and everything can get thrown on us in our offices, and our buildings are used 7 days a week. Our students are doing stuff 7 days a week. We have clubs that are on field trips, people that are traveling. So we're constantly on. Issues are coming up. People are calling us at home. We're talking with coaches or sponsors. So it is that. I mean, that balance is is a struggle to try and, prioritize and figure out what needs to be dealt with first. And sometimes you never get to that one thing that was on your to-do list for the day, but you've put out all these other, fires that came up.
Well, since you said that, what's the biggest misconception about the job? What do people who don't know about the job, what's their biggest misconception?
I had some people that want to know what I did for the summer.
Right, because they think that we
You don't have the summer off? What are you doing?
One, yeah, I think that's it, that they think that we have the summers off. Yeah. And two, I think that most people think that we only do athletics.
Yeah.
That they have no idea that we're doing student government and clubs, and as Terry said, custodians, building use, overseeing departments, teacher evaluations, all of that. I think most people,
work orders.
most people think it's truly just athletics. And there are parts of me thinking that would be nice, even though I like the other parts of our jobs. There's just a lot to it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Lori said something earlier that maybe want to ask. This will be the last question I have for you. How competitive are you amongst each other? Say it.
Yeah.
Nancy's holding her tongue down.
I'm so not competitive. You can't be.
What are you talking
You
about?
wouldn't even be in this position if
Oh.
if I was competitive with anybody here.
Oh, right.
That's what you mean.
No.
Westfield, Fairfax, or our schools?
What do you mean?
Yeah, how competitive are you?
Okay, playing a game of golf, I would say very competitive. Playing tennis, playing a game of golf, very competitive. On the job, we are all out to support anybody and what they're doing. Falls Church High School was in the state champion soccer game this past spring, and every single one of us were just cheering for the Jaguars.
Emails flying.
It was unbelievable. Like when we made it to the finals, I heard from every single school saying, "Go Jags, we're pulling for you." And like Stewart, our big rivals, and I love Stewart to death, but they're like, even Jeb's going for you. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's competitive. Like if we went out and played golf or tennis, I think it would be competitive, right? We'd be like all trying to win it. But like for me, like when we play each other, like I'm hoping against all hopes that we win. But I don't want any kids to get hurt. I want my kids to have a great time. I want the event to go off without a hitch. Like at the end of the day, that's what I'm hoping. If we win, that's bonus, right? Like that's bonus. And I'm so excited. But I don't think I'm competitive. Like I don't go into it thinking that.
I also think, and I may have said this in an earlier interview, like I think any one of us or any DSA can put a question out to the group by email, and within minutes you get a helpful response. Right. Yeah. It could be, has anyone ever dealt with this, or does anyone have a good vendor for this, or whatever it is, and people just reply. Because they all know that everyone's got a tough job, and we're here to help each other.
And we're a unique group because no one else in our school does our job. So we rely on the expertise of all of our colleagues at the other schools. So if we have a question about, something that's going on, we pick up the phone and we call, someone down the road and get their advice or their input. So I think it puts us in a unique situation. For me, that's one of the things I love is that we have these relationships with all these other people at different schools. Whereas, some other groups within the school system might be more centralized in their school specifically.
There was a point in time this past fall where Westfield and South County were in a regional football game, and I don't know which one of us said it first, whether or not it was me or Leah, but we were both pretty proud to be two females a part of a regional championship game. She did an awesome job running the show, having it at her facility, other things going on. People don't see that. People don't see what it takes from the outside to put on an event like that. Parking all over the place. I mean, but it was, I think there was just a lot of pride that it was a lot of pride to be a part of it. It was a lot of pride that we were there together and just proud to do our jobs.
Yeah, we root for each other, I think, all the time. Yeah, definitely.
Terrific.
I agree.
Even for Nancy?
Yes.
Even for Nancy.
Yes.
Even for Nancy.
Thank you all so much for doing this today. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time.